just don't get it. Brad, I need more views on YouTube!
Chet, the accident was 10 years ago. You need to move on.
"10 years on the platform, 203 videos, 1.4 million views. It has been a rush, it's been a ride, and most importantly, it's been fun."
Just look at that pathetic little wispy mustache.
But it was a lot worse than my older videos.
10 years is a freaking long time. I didn't even realize how close it was until one of my viewers pointed it out to me. And I knew it had to be a special one. And it was obvious which game I'd have to play. Although I've done videos for it in the past, I knew that I'd have to do my favorite entry from my favorite franchise, Fire Emblem Awakening. I have always been a fan of the Advance Wars franchise. One time, I saw an ad featuring the same grid system and I thought, hey, I should give that a try. And a couple of years later, Gamin had 3 full-size ads for Awakening. And by that point, I actually had some money. So I decided to give it a shot, and good heavens am I glad I did. Just look at these hours. Well, what do you say we add to that number? Another ride! Together we ride. GBA Original. Also, a very special thanks to QuickNerd who helped me modify my 3DS. It was very important to me that I played this on original hardware. So the game drops you into a battle with Valdir. It teaches you a couple of helpful mechanics and then shows you betraying Chrom.
This is not your fault.
Of course it is, dude! I freaking stabbed you! And then we wake up in the field with Chrom, Lissa, and awesome Frederick. I did something kind of funny in my game. Like, usually I name myself after the character, but a couple of changes. Like, I gave myself slightly blonde hair, and I added quotation marks around Robin, which works really well with one of the plot twists, but it was also really funny in the cutscenes, too. This is Robin. He fought bravely against the brigands.
It seems as though Elise owes you a great debt of gratitude, Robin.
After a brief intro, a town is under attack, just in time for a couple more tutorials and mechanical introductions. And I almost get Lissa killed. Oops! After that, we're taken to a campsite, and can I just talk about something for a moment? Okay, over the past 10 years, I have evolved as a person. Specifically here, my media literacy has improved. I realize now that these aren't just lines. This is dialogue. Every single line in this game informs the viewer of not just the story, but it also provides insight to the character delivering the words. It's so perfectly into that 2-line format we see. I didn't realize how well crafted it all is until now. However, if you've seen the music list for Awakening, you could say that they took it maybe just a bit too far, because most of the songs in this game are named after dialogue from the scenes. I love it. The song that's playing right now is actually called "Ag, One Up in My Mouth, Black Patilli." I'll never forget when the old man gave his life to save the town from the bandits by saying his signature catchphrase, "Id, tilde, purpose." So powerful. Anyway, next level, we meet Sully and Virion. We get some of Virion's rapier wit, and then we fight off some zombies. But afterwards, we get to why I love this game so much. Support conversations! Before this game, I thought it would be great if there was a game out there with more interaction between characters, not just little quips here and there that are sometimes unique, but I knew the amount of work required to make that happen would be staggering. But Awakening was willing to put in that legwork, and it is glorious. Not every character can talk to everyone, but there are tons of conversations, easily over 500 unique minute-long conversations. And these give you so much insight into all of these characters. Some are funny, some are interesting, and some make me emotional. Over a decade ago, I wouldn't allow myself to cry while partaking in media. I don't care anymore, I'll even admit to it. There are several moments in this game that left me misty-eyed. The Sumiya-Cynthia conversation got an actual tear running down my cheek. Does that make me a wimp? Probably. But I am personally satisfied that a piece of media I love could affect me on such a deep emotional level. Alright, next level has multiple things working in harmony. So we've got Vake, who is just such a dork. They tell him, hey, don't forget your axe, and he says, pish, as if. and then the battle starts and he has lost his axe, which allows for beautiful characterization, a tutorial on how the characters can trade their inventories in the middle of battle, and my favorite song in the entire game. The fake never forgets. I just don't always remember. The game's silly song. I've used this in so many videos over the past decade. Heck, I almost wish I had adopted this as my channel's theme song. But with spellcasters, axemen, knights, healers, archers, and sword wielders on our team, we're getting pretty capable, which absolutely bends and breaks on the next level. Now, Fire Emblem is famous for one mechanic, permadeath. If your HP ticks down to 0, that unit is going to Davy Jones. Some story crucial characters will just take the bench for the rest of the war, but you don't get to use them no more. I hope that someday Fire Emblem can adjust their scripts in such a clever way that any character can die and still have the story function. Varian can't die because he has to introduce an axe wielder in the second half of the game. Well, that, and he can't possibly inflict such a grief on womankind. Some people play Fire Emblem on Iron Man. I did not do that. But I did play on Classic, which meant that if anyone did die, it resulted in a quick press of LR and start. And you know what? I wish I hadn't. They introduce so many characters in this game. By level 4, you have to put some on the sidelines. I think the reason they overload you with so many people is because if they do bite the big one, you're still capable. But the main reason that I didn't do this is because every character is so well written. I don't want their support conversations to just vanish in the wind, especially the girls, for a reason that I will get to later. After that level though, we get some paralogs, which are chances to get even more characters. I think there's like 15 characters that are gained through these optional fights. Well, mostly optional. Donald right here, he ain't optional. Donald starts out weaker than an old shoe, but if you get him to level up just a couple of times, he becomes the most powerful pair of combat boots this side of the wide Missouri. Now, that last sentence that I said was complete and utter nonsense. However, anyone who's played the game will agree with me 100%. On to the next level, Battle at Arena Ferox. Okay, so the cutscene, I was like deeply concerned and confused about what I was looking at. Like, what, something's wrong. Why is something wrong? It's the arena. I have over 1,000 hours in Smash Ultimate. Arena Ferox is supposed to be a floating platform in the middle of a coliseum. At least it looks like they're using the Omega variant. The next level brings up probably my biggest complaint with this game. It's something unforgivable. Frankly, this game is lucky that everything else about it is so good because moving reinforcements. All in all, I am not against reinforcements. They add a little bit of pressure, they make things tougher, they give you something fun to work around. What I'm not okay with is enemy reinforcements spawning behind enemy lines and then moving. Hey guys, here's a weak unit you need to save. She can only survive one hit though. Oops, looks like you didn't account for the fact that random blade of grass was actually an armed combatant. I cannot fathom how a company that's been making strategy games for literal decades thought that this was remotely fine. Future games fixed this in two major ways. One with the turn wheel, and two with calling in reinforcements at the end of the turn. Honestly, Pavs' chess video is probably one of the best videos on YouTube. Okay, so after a couple of resets, we saved Maribel and Rickon. Yay! Next level, you gotta protect the queen from nighttime assassins. You get one character who turns into a bunny and goes all Monty Python on her foes. And if Chrom talks to this dude, you can recruit him. He's funny, he only talks about sweets. I do not mind Fire Emblem's flanderization. Okay, one assassination averted, and we're on to the next level, which is another crazy difficult one. Yeah, I don't care for Wyvern or Pegasus riders. Crazy high damage and movement. They can easily just ignore the units that can withstand the hits and go around to the squishies in the back. You know, same problem with the friggin' whatever they call ambush spawns, but at least you can see them and plan. Wait, what if they ambush spawned with Wyverns? Oh, we use some sort of abject refrigerator! And now to get another character. You see, there are two paralogs where you save Anna from twin brothers. I ignored the first one simply because it changes the dialogue ever so slightly depending on which one of the brothers you kill first. Also, the second Anna actually joins you and the first one doesn't, so that means that you can take in Anna and have her heal up Anna. And then I seem to have lost my footage where you get Libra, Tharja, and Emerald takes a swan dive. Which is just a shame because it leads to the artful Mustafa level. You've got the reluctant villain, this gorgeous song, and it's just an amazing level. Hold up! They ambush spawn Wyvern Riders. 0 out of 10 trash level. Hashtag justice for Mustafa. Street justice, that is. Alright, now for another reason I love this game. The marriage mechanic. I'll go a little more in depth later, but you can marry your characters. Most characters have multiple candidates to choose from, but I'm bringing it up now because Chrom only has 4 choices. Sully, Sumia, Maribel, and Olivia. Well, technically 5 if you include Maiden. And that's all the art there is of her. And she's actually the hardest character to marry. Olivia's pretty hard too, and that's who I wanted Chrom to marry, but I kinda screwed it up. To pull it off, you need to have 0 support with Sully, Sumia, and Maribel. Thing is, I forgot that step and actually had a B support with Sumia. My only options was to restart the whole game or to marry her off to someone else.
Now, at first I just considered marrying her my dang self. However, I'm pretty sure that if I did that, Blazing Knight would murder me.
It's true, I would.
So I just married her off to Geist instead and moved on to the next level, where we actually meet Olivia, and then we just move her over to Chrom and have her bust a move like she's auditioning for West Side Story. Maybe have them eat the seed of trust, I don't know. If I had one criticism of this level, it's those stupid spawns. But a second complaint that can be levied here is the main antagonist for the whole game has been Grangrel. When you finally land that final, devastating, killing strike, the battle keeps going. You really gotta finish off those stragglers. Now we skip ahead 3 years in the future. Olivia and Chrom get a baby, and then we go to Plegia to discuss the Act 2 threat, where they offer us guns and ships, and they also have a Robin. What?
It's a JRPG, man.
And then we go to the next level where we get another character, Henry. His supports are probably my favorite in the whole game, but I didn't really use them all that much. But after the battle, Lucina shows up and she accidentally says father. And then we learn about how she's from the future and how they add time travel into the whole mix.
It's a JRPG!
At least it's better than a sequel where they shoehorn in the child mechanic, but like in the sloppiest way possible. Anyway, this is another reason I love the support system and refuse to let the women die. If your characters get married, they can have kids, and then you can go do a level and add the future kid to your party. And typically each character is tied to the mom, and they got growth rates and skills based on their parentage. Which is just great for all the eugenicists out there, but me, I just like the support conversations. Then we do the boat battle, which I had to restart because one of the fun things in Fire Emblem, the stop killing them mechanic. So you got a unit here like Chrom. He's sturdy, he's durable, strong too. Perhaps too strong. So many times in this game, I yelled at my 3DS, "Stop killing them!" Because the units will attack and take a chunk out of the health bar. And then the defending unit will attack twice, get crits, and the paired up unit will attack too. And I'm just sitting here like a traffic cop at rush hour yelling, "Stop! Stop! Stop!" Because if the unit lives, that's fine, that's good. But if they die, another unit can step onto that square and take another sizable chunk out of the HP bar until... And then we got to the tree level and something interesting happened. The game got hard. The last 3 levels have been aggravatingly easy. What the frick? Why did it get so hard all of a sudden? Even Robin, who I thought was one of my better units, is getting one-shotted. I would say that I hate this level for all the grief that it gave me, but we also get to meet my favorite character in all of Fire Emblem, Cervantes. He's goofy, powerful, and just look at that mustache. Oh, he's such a dork. I love it. Partway through his dialogue, the music has to switch to "One Gop in my mouth, black patooey." I love him. Even his final words, "Blasted science, you've played me for a fool," is exactly what I want to say when I shake off this mortal coil. After that, I took a short training break. Doesn't really matter though, I was still getting stomped in Misandry Manor, right? I mean, Donald has gotten so powerful that he cannot die. I can do these flanking maneuvers where I send Donald up one path and literally everyone down another. But that path contained my weakest units, and when they do this, well... How did this mechanic make it into the game? After that, though, the game got a little easier. I did need to restart one mission, though, because of a lucky crit. But it was actually me who got the crit. You see, the enemy general is actually one of my unit's big brother. And while trying to get him low enough for her to land a final blow... No, Lucina, don't! So I did the whole mission over just so Sartes could get the unique dialogue. That's actually one really cool thing. If you have Chrom fight most of the bosses, you can get unique dialogue. Even Cervantes got a unique line with Sartes. A funny one at that. But now we have an opportunity to unlock Tiki as a unit. That's who I decided to marry. Hot Dragon Waifu. Look at the support screen. I am literally living out this comic. Side note, does anybody know what these comics even are? Anyway, 3.5 hours of assaulting the castle. Some dumb unit always lands a killing blow. How I wish these characters were less interesting so I'd be okay with letting them die. Alright, now for the second assault. Inside the castle this time. And look, my boy Cervantes is here. You know what? It's gonna make my job about 10 times harder, but I'm gonna try and beat the level without killing him. And I did. It did get a little hairy there at the end when he cornered Anna and Virion in the treasure room, but we took down Wallheart, and that lily right there is Cervantes. He's alive and well.
But I'd like to think that after the war, he went off and found something he loved. Like maybe joining a pop group.
Actually, that kinda did happen.
What?
Okay, so like, more specifically, he ended up in modern-day Tokyo as a giant monster version of himself, and he got, like, super into Vocaloid culture. He ended up kidnapping a bunch of creators to steal their performa, you know, their creative energy. It was like a whole thing. We ended up having to stop him in order to save Tiki and her biggest fan, Tiki Waifu. You know, for whatever it's worth, even as a giant, weird, floating monster suit of armor version of himself, the man still takes fantastic pride in his mustache.
What the frick is that game?
It's a JRPG.
And now I took a break from the main story so I could get everyone married and then go across the land collecting all the future children like Pokemon cards. I like this one because it's got a fire breath attack. And it's also my daughter. But after adding like 10 characters that I'll never use to my roster, we continued. Alright, so this is probably one of the worst levels in the game. Even after doing 10 optional levels and gaining experience and level ups from all of them, there is just no accounting for surprise spawns. It takes a very special kind of unit to take 4 attacks from promoted units. Not to mention, they have archers and wind mages, which do triple damage to flying units, which you keep in the back rows because they take triple damage from archers and wind mages.
Die, die, die.
Okay, I dodged. Another 4 units?
After all these unfair deaths, I implemented my ultimate strategy.
Scott, I can't do it!
What is it now?
Okay, so what I did here is unequip all units. I couldn't unequip Chrom, so I sent him with Lucina because she'll block hits. Chet also wanted all the items, so I had to send Donald in to babysit little Miss Locksmith Anna. There, it's done.
I can't beat Brock!
Charmander. Yeah.
After that, the next few levels are honestly kind of easy. The next one just has a Versa and 12 named units. Are these names special? I don't know, man. I'm just gonna lie to them. They're actually revived versions of the 10 elites of Foldland.
Actually, Scott, could you go and kill anyone who tries to fact check that?
Yeah, of course.
Wonderful.
Then we have the level that started the whole game. Before I attacked Valdir, I cleared out all of the enemies on the other side of the barrier, and then I attacked him, and we watched the cutscene where he made me betray Chrom. Look, even after playing this game like 10 times, I still don't know how they justified him surviving. I don't know, I think I used Thunder instead of Thoron. I don't know, man. Then we go and meet Naga, and she pimps out Chrom's sword, and then we actually go and do a bunch of cool optional missions. One of the main reasons I wanted to do this review on original hardware was for this reason. Yeah, the game added in some missions that let you recruit prominent NPCs from the story. Sadly, not Cervantes though. But there's Grangrel, Emerin, Wallheart, Yenfei, and Aversa. And they all have supports with Robin as well. Dang, I should have played as a girl so I could marry Grangrel.
How in blazes did you get me to bluff you? If you're trying to make a new man of me, it's working.
They also have Priam, who's like Ike's great-great-great-grandson, but I didn't really have a team capable of beating his level. Actually, let's be honest, I didn't really have a team capable of beating the other levels either. I tried all the levels for like an hour apiece, but usually just end up having to send in the mobile Donald squad. Grangro level is tough because you need to have Chrom talk to him for 3 turns straight, and he'll just straight up be attacking you during those turns. Okay, everybody has weapons with a range of 1. Grangro, what are you doing? You have 11 sword! You don't need to know! For Walhart, just send in Chrom and Donald to cut down everyone and have Chrom attack Walhart once. Donald can finish him off, though. God King killed by a farm boy. Emerald level, I actually beat with my full team. Didn't need to just use Donald, but you need Lisa to like yoink her sister all around the map. Come on, stupid! They're gonna eat you! In the Yenfei levels, they were killing my better units in like fair fights. So that's one where I just instantly said, okay, you know, Donald time. And then a versus stage, which is very unique. You need to fight a mirror match, and I don't know what algorithm they use. They must divide your stats between all of them because Donald could not solo the entire team of good units. Hey Donald, you want to kill a bunch of kids? I think the funniest thing is that Aversa is dedicated to fighting her clone, even though that is a fight that she loses. I had to bring along Rescue Ranger Alyssa to keep pulling her back, but this is how dedicated she was to fighting her clone, okay? I got her out of the attacking range, and she would just kill the child clones to activate Gale Force so she could make it to her clone, which, that's a big brain move. The last one was Ike's Descendant, but as I said, I couldn't do it. I only have 1 Donald, and his whole team is comprised of maxed out units, and I don't want to spend like the 10 hours it would take to grind a strong enough team. I got him once on another file, but yeah, after collecting all those fun units, I am ready to face Garima. Cutscene shenanigans occur, and you get special dialogue for each unit that you brought along to the final fight. Oh yeah, thanks for that, Aversa. It's almost been 5 minutes since you joined the team. It's a hard enough fight, but you can do it. I think my favorite part is that I brought those special units, so you can have Emerin healing Grangro, and you can have Grangro blocking attacks for Emerin. I've never seen one block so gracefully! But we make it to Garima, and then they have the hard choice. Do you have Chrom or Robin land the final blow? If Chrom kills him, he'll disappear for another 1,000 years, but he might come back. But if Robin kills him, he could disappear forever, but Robin might disappear as well. But I don't really get to make that decision because Tiki snuck in a bonus action on Morgan's attack. Okay, Tiki landed the final blow. Naga did not mention what happens in this situation. How about we put him to sleep for 1,000 years and Robin dies? That'd be cool.
And that is Fire Emblem Awakening, my most important game. It's what got me to start the channel over 10 years ago, and I've had so much fun with the game and the channel. Subscribe for another 10 years of Heemin Game Station. I don't see any reason to quit. Also, I know I didn't really touch on the story all that much. You kill 2 kings, and then you kill a guy. You know, it's a JRPG.